So, if you saw the last video, Chris, aka Friend, gave us a tour of his new Alu-Cab on his Jeep Gladiator. So now we are going to ask a few questions about likes, dislikes, what he would change, what he might do differently.
I have lots of thoughts.
And hear some of his thoughts about the Alu-Cab itself, just so you can hear an honest opinion about it if maybe you're looking for one, debating on buying one. It looks awesome, but I will tell you before we even get into this interview, they are pricey. Out of my price range, but they are sweet. So, Chris, let's first start off. Obviously, you like it. It is a badass setup that you have on there.
I mean,
but what are your dislikes? There has to be some dislikes.
Honestly, not many. I've got to think hard to come up with them outside of the one major dislike. There's one major dislike that I'm shocked. These things, you know, I'm the marketing goes, they put these on their rental vehicles down in South Africa. Yep. They let the customers beat them up, and they fix what breaks, and that's why they're so good and they're so just refined. But through all of that effort, somehow what has slipped by R&D and quality control is the frickin' back door opens. It's on a strut. So it's a gas piston, pushes it out. You know, you can just pop the door open and shink. There's a strap that is tensioned to where the strut is tensioned to. There is one bracket on the inside of the Alu-Cab that pushes from the strut out and that grabs with the strap to stop the door. Well, they riveted it in and it sucks. It moves. I'm pretty sure I've tightened that strap probably 5 or 6 inches since I bought it. So that tells you that there's a lot of play in that thing. Whether the straps slip in, there's something wrong with it. Everything on this thing is so refined. Just, again, it works so good. Everything else, I'm shocked this slipped by. So that's the one big dislike.
Nice. Okay. That's the only one really right now, I guess?
Yeah. Let me think. In your video, I don't think we saw the screen and shade kits.
Nope, we didn't show those.
Those, they rivet the tops in, and then they double back tape the side and the bottom. And I get it, you know, some people want to have that totally open look again, you know, while keeping it up and tucked away. I want the bottom always there, zip out the screen, fold up the canvas. And the issue with me is the double back tape, it doesn't hold up. It doesn't hold up. I've seen a guy online actually go in and just, you know, drill and rivet the rest of it. I'm probably going to do that in the long run. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so with the Alu-Cab, it's obviously not small. It's a large dome house in the bed. It is small
for what it is, though.
It is not a truck bed camper. It is a truck bed camper, but it is not a full truck bed camper.
It is not a square top. It is a wedge top.
Yes. But it is made out of aluminum, so it's not made out of steel. But there's still got to be some weight in there. Do you feel like when you're driving and you're braking and going into turns, do you feel any more top heavy, or do you feel the weight when you're going to stop when you're in like a braking kind of situation?
Anybody tells you don't is lying. Of course you're going to feel it. You got 500 pounds is what it's weighing in at. Sitting on your back, it's pushing weight up high. There's a little cab overhang, which does help with centering the center of gravity between the axles. But the way it's mounted is really smart. It's a real solid construction. And just, you know, where the weight points are is really smart. The tailgate does take a lot of the weight where it bolts in back there, as far as I'm aware. And the big issue is I'm on stock springs, so they're not rated for a constant 500 pounds. So I get that high gravity, roll through turns.
So the Alu-Cab itself weighs 500 pounds. Is that what you said? 500 pounds? That's not including any of your gear that you put in there. So you have water, propane tanks, whatever, clothes.
It does include the awnings.
It does include the awnings, all right. Yeah. But the rest of the stuff, though, you're still probably adding 300 or 400 pounds in gear that you have in there.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Sure.
By the time you're fully loaded down. If you were living full time, by the time you have food in your fridge filled with food.
Sounds reasonable, but...
And clothes and water, honestly, and if you have extra fuel, which I know you're not carrying now.
Water's a lot. Fuel would be heavy. Propane is heavy. So let's just throw some ballpark. We got a 20-pound propane tank. We got 7 gallons of water, which is 8.33
pounds.
So
per gallon.
times 7 is going to get you up to like 57,
say
8-ish.
60 pounds. We'll just round up, make it easy. 60, 20. So you're 80 pounds. Say a suitcase weighs 30 pounds.
My
maybe
suitcase
50 if you're really loaded down.
40, 50. Yeah, let's just throw 50 at it. Upper, that's max airline.
Okay,
weight,
you
so
have your
that's
cooler with
130
filled
pounds.
with food. How much is that thing
The
weigh?
fridge freezer. How much do you think that thing?
I don't know. I never tried to move it.
You've never moved it.
I have no
That thing's
idea.
light.
I mean,
So
all I think of is
food. It's probably another 100 pounds, and that's not 100 pounds.
Okay, your Jackery.
So the Jackery is 40 pounds, and that's part of the reason I have that Jackery unit. Yes.
So I mean, you've got to be up close to 200 pounds already just with that stuff.
Yeah.
That's not including
we're probably
your guitar.
over 200 pounds there.
Not including a boon.
Yeah, Boone's pretty big.
He's a big boy.
But he treats. No, I carry a lot of weight. I do carry a lot of weight. I'm not going to knock my weight. That's a good ballpark for like bare bones essential equipment. But like the other thing I do is, I'm living out of it. I have that stuff with me all the time. I have nothing in there that I really don't live with other than a big bag of clothes. And I'm probably not carrying my guitar around on the day.
No, but you're still going to probably be adding more to it as far as like maybe a kitchen setup goes and stuff like that down the road.
True, and I'm looking to carry more water. Looking to carry ideally a pump, maybe long term a water heater. There's other things that I am going to be adding on there. Solar panels, roof rack, other equipment bolted to the outside, which changes weight distribution. Putting more on the roof is going to make center of gravity go higher. So there are things to be cognizant of even going forward.
Yeah. So all this stuff that you're going to be adding onto it, into it, wherever it is. We talked briefly in the beginning of like the tour video of the Alu-Cab about you're sitting on stock suspension with 35-inch tires. Don't really have an issue rubbing, no spacers or anything like that. What are your plans for the suspension side of it? Just for that extra little bit of weight that's added, or did you want it lifted, or do you like your ride height that you're at now?
That's the thing. I love the ride height now. It doesn't look like a big, massive truck. And that does hurt a little part of me.
But it looks proportionate to your tire size. All these new trucks these days, to fit a 35-inch tire, you have to have a 6-inch lift or something. And
that's the thing.
It doesn't look right.
It's a Jeep all day long. Everything.
It's a Jeep thing.
It's a Jeep thing. Yeah. They've sucked the tires up into the body, and as far as like where it articulates into the suspension for all those Jeep things. But the big thing about what I want is keeping that center of gravity low, as low as I can. So the only rated springs, or I should say the rated lift kit that you can get for the Gladiator, as far as I am aware right now, is from Dobinson. And it's not cheap, and it is a minimum, I think it's a minimum 3-inch lift. I don't think it's a 2.5, it might be a 2.5. But it's a 3-inch lift. And I do have 2.5-inch spacers on the front, which I'm going to correct you a little bit. I do rub over. So going up some of the big kind of rutted and rocky roads that I do, big humps and stuff. Those big divots and dips. If I hit them with speed, if I hit a divot with speed, I will feel it bump the underside of the fender. But again, 2.5-inch spacer on the front. If I can maintain that ride height, get the Rubicon fender flares, which sit higher than mine, that problem's gone as far as I'm aware, as far as I'm concerned. I'm not, taking this thing on crazy. I'm not going to take this thing down the Rubicon. Yeah. I don't want to dent up the Alu-Cab. That's a different Jeep.
This is more of like an overlanding vehicle than an off-road vehicle.
Right. Yeah. For sure.
Okay, so you were talking a few minutes ago, you talked about solar panels maybe in the future. What else are you doing power-wise, or where are you going to put those solar panels? Are they going to be, pull out, set out in the sun kind of thing, or permanent mounted to the vehicle setup? What are you thinking? Yeah,
so I do have pretty much everything, like I said in the video, running on the one main battery. And it's been, I run the Jeep daily. I do. I drive almost daily. In those days I don't. I just double click the auto start stop. It tops off my battery. So the long-term plan is to just get rid of that fear. I carry a battery jumper with me. I've got the Jackery now. So like I have double redundancy. I can charge my jumper, multiple times over if I have to. I could probably rig something up. I'm an electrical engineer by undergrad, so I can rig something up. I can get myself out of Dodge. But the issue is I want to be able to just not worry about it, have everything, set in stone. So future plan, solar panel on the hood. I love the look of those.
Oh yeah.
Whether I put it on the hood or not. Solar panel dedicated for the truck battery, truck systems. I can still wire things into the truck systems at that point. And then I've got currently double lock gauge out to the back from the front. So I want to just terminal everything together, have a separate back end system running off of the solar panels, and ideally long term some lithium ion batteries or something. But the Jackery is kind of the stopgap between that and now, where it does go inside my camper at home, so it's pulling double duty between the truck and the camper. So that is a good heart for any system. But fundamentally, I want solar on the roof. I want solar outside. I've currently got one 200-watt fold-out panel that I can set around, and I get 30 to 40% on the Jackery every day if I chase the sun. And in Colorado, we get a lot of sun. So again, one panel on the roof would ideally be probably another 200 to 400 watts, and that would wire into a jack I can plug the Jackery right into, or just have on board.
Yeah, and you can also have it charged while you're driving around and stuff like that without back feeding to your Jeep battery.
Right, and like I said, ideally I have a whole power terminal in the back where I can cut off the two different circuits, so to speak.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. You got suspension, power. You have your dislikes, your weight distribution, stuff like that. What about your storage? That's a big thing. When you are living in something that small, you have to figure out every inch of space that you can use.
There's no one right solution for everybody because everybody is different. And so people go online and like, hey, what is the right thing for me? Hey, what are you doing? I want to copy you. I want to figure out what to do. Those are all the wrong mindsets. It's figuring out what you need, what your life demands, and supporting that. And it just so happens my life doesn't demand a whole lot these days. I have a dog. My dog food sits in my rear trash carrier. The outside bag. It's the backpack. So that's easy to move around with. His bed, he's got the whole back seat. He takes a lot of space. He's a dog, but that's how we ride around town.
Yeah.
I'm not riding, I don't have kids riding in the back, right? So the other big thing is I'm a big nerd. I live on my computer and my laptop. So as long as I have that anywhere and I got reliable power, I got internet, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy.
Okay.
Bring some clean clothes and I'll smell good doing it.
Yeah. So this past month, kind of around the holidays, between Thanksgiving and now we're just into New Year's, into January, you've been kind of living in that full-time on the road, minus stops with friends and family and kind of, couch hopping and staying wherever you are. You've been, the nights that you have stayed in that, have you figured out what you're going to do for a kitchen? Because that is the one thing that you don't really have a full kitchen setup yet. So what are you going to do? Because you don't live full-time in that. You kind of have your camper as your home base.
I say it's an extension of home already.
Yeah.
But it's not full-time.
But it's not full-time. So, you have a shower on the side. But what about your kitchen?
I have a shower on the side. I have the shower curtain.
The shower curtain on the side. I guess you don't have a water heater or anything like that hooked up. But
I do have a bucket, for just general bathroom purposes. But, there's a better solution than that in the future as well. There's a big need for the kitchen, though. Definitely need to solve the kitchen. The idea for the kitchen that I'm currently workshopping, and this is what I recommend, just, use your stuff. I had a metal bed, a steel floor in the back of that for the first maybe month that I had the Alu-Cab. I did not buy all the add-ons I could. I bought the bare essentials. To me, the awning was a bare essential. So the kitchen's one of those things that is so, again, everybody's different. Every vehicle and space is different. You've got to make the kitchen work with your space and your needs. The kitchen that I'm envisioning, I was just telling you, doesn't have necessarily a fixed stove. A fixed stove has a lot of benefits and purposes for not requiring setup on the daily when you're using it daily and all those things. But, again, my truck is not something I'm full-time out of.
Yeah.
So when I'm out, that's another reason I chose the Alu-Cab in the first place. When I'm out and getting out in the middle of nowhere, I'm by myself a lot of the time. And cooking inside is not something you want to do in a lot of bear country. So I kind of like the functionality of having a stove that you can set on my back drop-down table, or carry it over to another table, away from the truck, away from the camp, so to speak. So that, kind of pushes me to just, make a more convenient accessibility for the stove itself, for the propane hookup, and for the cookware. So cookware is what I think about.
Do you have any ideas as far as cleaning up from kitchen? Like, are you going to have some type of sink or like any, water on a pump in the back of the truck for cleanup kind of stuff?
So it kind of starts with cookware. The right tools for the job make the job run better, which means clean easier.
Yeah.
And so I pretty much do everything in my wok. I keep a lid, and I can defrost chicken, other meat. I can cook up a frozen hamburger in 5 or 10 minutes, whatever it is. So that's really nice and easy. And the best thing is an easy clean pan.
Yep.
It's one pan that I can keep easy cleaned. And right now I'm keeping that in a bag in the trash bag outside as well. I don't like cooking smells inside. So I've dreamt of having like a hanging system I can hang. And again, a wok is a simple tool. Simple tools that I use are a spatula, a pair of tongs, and a chef's knife of some kind to chop things. So keep those easy accessible. Maybe next to the wok, hanging on the back. But the issue would be maybe beating and cleaning down the road for the wok. What do you do with the lid? Cooking smells. If there's anything, I'm not sterilizing the pan every time I cook on it.
Yep.
So those are pushing me into different decisions about the storage management as far as the kitchen's concerned. But fundamentally, you got to have running water. So long-term plan for running water, as you asked, was going to be the front. There's a front tank. It's about 13 gallons. Sits where my Max Tracks currently are, behind the fridge at the front of the bed. Put a pump on that. Be able to pump that out to the shower side as well as kitchen side.
Okay.
It'd be really cool to have like an outside tap.
Any hot water in that pump kind of thing?
Ideally. Hot water would be nice. I'm kind of one of those guys. I like to buy once, cry once, spend on quality that you're going to benefit from. I'm looking at those instant hot water heaters, and it's like, that's the freaking
buy once, cry once. I like that. I've never heard that one. I like that one. Buy once, cry once. Okay, so that's your kitchen setup. I noticed, so last week I actually got the chance to hang out in the Alu-Cab, and Chris showed it to me in the pouring down rain. Pulled into the driveway, threw that awning out in 2 seconds, and then we had a big pot full of steaming oysters going right away. And they were so good.
How else do you want to roll into your friend's house? Like?
So we were waiting for some friends to show up, and he showed me the Alu-Cab one night, I guess. And the next day, we were looking at like the bed space up there, and we just laid up there. And that thing is comfortable. Do you have any plans for your sleeping arrangements or bed space that you would change? Are you comfortable enough on the mats that come with the Alu-Cab, or would you add a comforter? Or
that's one of those things where everybody's different. Me personally, I kind of like a firm sleep.
Yeah.
I honestly get some of my best sleep on that Alu-Cab right now.
Because it's like a 3 or 4 inch thick pad kind of up there, isn't it? 3 inches maybe?
3 inches maybe. It's probably not that thick, honestly, but it is comfy.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. I thought I was comfortable in it.
It's surprisingly comfy for its thickness, in my mind.
And we were both laying up there side by side and had plenty of space. Like if we went on a camping trip, like if two full grown adults were going camping,
bags, but
I mean, it depends.
How close you are with your friends, right?
It's like close you are. But there was plenty of space up there for 2 adults. And like I said earlier when we were doing the tour, if you watched the last video, you could probably fit 2 adults and a kid up on that top bunk. Probably 2 adults and 2 kids down if you had to set up on the lower level. But
the only thing I can think with that, it'd be cozy enough where you got a kid right next to your face. You're probably someone's going to take.
Someone's going to get rolled into eventually, I guess. Yeah. But depends how squirmy.
There's plenty of space downstairs.
Yeah, that's what the downstairs.
Yeah, they got a whole upstairs and downstairs.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. Anything else that you think about the Alu-Cab you wanted to share? Because it is a sweet setup.
I'm misusing a couple things right now. Insulation is one thing. It's wintertime. And so big important plan. The next big thing I'm doing with that is the Dickinson fireplace heater for the back of it. That just, it's kind of like the awning.
Does that just run on propane?
It runs on propane, but it's vented. It's a dry heat. It'll dry out the interior. So hindsight's 2020. It's one of those things. I decided to get the awning because I couldn't imagine it without it. And at this point, the heater is feeling quite critical to the system as well.
I bet this time of the year.
Buddy heaters, I'm always chasing ventilation, making sure it's safe, and then the radius around it is not going to catch fire, and boom's not going to knock it over, and it's condensating the whole interior, so it's not ideal at all. The fireplace, the just general installation of the Alu-Cab needs addressing. So I was talking to you about putting the carpet, on the back door, probably the front bulkhead, and then some other, maybe on the gull wings. That'll let me expand storage onto the vertical spaces, which I highly, highly value for all those little knickknacks and things. I currently have like my air compressor sitting up in the passenger side of the back seat. Put that, somewhere permanent storage. Solving those types of things will be my next steps. That involves getting the max tracks on the exterior. So it's exterior mounting, interior mounting, using my vertical spaces.
So you were talking about insulation and heat. In the summers in the mountains of Colorado, you don't really need AC, I'm guessing. I don't really know. I've never been there in the summertime. Would you have any, like, a battery fan or something that you would bring with you just in case you get a little toasty at night? I know you have 3 windows you can open for some good ventilation up there. Is that enough? Is that all you need?
I do think I need a fan in there. I've seen some sweet fans that people rig up in there that articulate and cover your space well and all that good stuff. So a fan probably going to happen in the near future.
No AC unit.
But yeah, a lot of the folks these days, I've done a lot of research into the EcoFlow and those types of portable ACs, and struggling to justify it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of space and
for
power.
where you live. You probably. I would understand it. Yeah, if you lived in the southeast, kind of, or just south, I guess. Really,
I've been complaining to you like the last week. I've
been
just
complaining about humidity.
Up dang humidity. But no, in Colorado, it's not an issue. So I do have a dog. It does get hot in the sun, and if I could figure out a way that I could just keep the back like a nice comfy home for him, air conditioned, heated in the winter, just all that good stuff, that'd be great. But man, those things, I just don't think that we're there yet. Yeah.
Nice.
For my setup, at least. If you have a bigger space, more power.
Yeah.
It's going to be an easier sell.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think I have any more questions about the Alu-Cab. All I know is it's an awesome unit you got set up back there, and I can't wait to go camping in it sometime.
I cannot wait for some freaking combo caravan trips. Getting out there, setting a big camp.
Alaska 2024, Keys to the Arctic.
Keys to the Arctic 2024. Let's hope we make it to the Keys.
Make sure you subscribe to that one so we get to that video.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Oh,
keep us honest.
Well, friend, on that, I'll say cheers and good luck with your travels in the Alu-Cab.
Well, I appreciate it, friends, and good luck getting your rig together.
Yes,
so that we can
into some type of setup. Whatever it might be.
Do these combo trips.
Yeah.
And you got to get yourself out to Denver.
Mm-hmm.